What if your next prime minister wasn't a person, but a neural network? No scandals, no sleep, no small talk, just cold, hard algorithms running the country. Would you trust it? Hi friends, I'm Elle. I'm a senior data scientist, and over the past decade, I've split my life between two of the most progressive democracies in Europe. Denmark, where I lived for 5 years, and the UK, where I've now been for 4.5. In both countries, I've seen how data and policy collide, how trust in governments waxes and wanes, and how tech keeps edging its way deeper into decision-making. And lately, especially with the newest turbulence in the geopolitical landscape, I've been asking myself, if machines are already helping doctors diagnose diseases and pilots fly planes, is it really that far-fetched to imagine an AI running a government? Let's explore that thought, not just whether it's technically possible, but whether we'd actually want it. First things first, let's imagine what a government run by AI might actually be. It's not going to be C-3PO walking into Parliament wearing a tie. Well, that could be kind of cute. But more likely, it would be a complex network of systems and algorithms embedded into decision-making processes. We're not even talking AGI, we're talking ASI here, artificial superintelligence, an amalgamation of data like we've never seen before. Think of AI managing resource allocation, budgets, healthcare, funding, infrastructure, law enforcement, predictive policing, surveillance, crime analysis, social services, automating welfare eligibility, streamlining applications, all the bureaucracy stuff. Policymaking, not just basic forecasts, but running simulations to predict the outcomes of new laws before they're enacted. An AI-led government wouldn't necessarily mean replacing all human politicians, at least not right away. It might start with AI advisors, trained on massive datasets to recommend policies with the highest utility. Eventually, we might get AI decision makers, perhaps even AI judges. Think Denmark's leader Lars, for example, Denmark's plausible prototype of this future. He is an AI system integrated into the Danish parliament, tasked with optimizing climate policy using real-time data and predictive modeling. While human ministers still debate and vote, Lars presents simulations of long-term outcomes, often swaying decisions with his unemotional, data-driven precision. Let's make the case for an AI government. Just imagine it. There are some pretty compelling reasons why people might be into this idea. I'm personally definitely all in for AI integration into as many aspects of humanity as possible. But it's not without nuance as well. First of all, AI is not corruptible. An AI cannot accept bribes. It doesn't have friends it wants to get appointed to nice, cozy ministerial jobs. It's not worried about re-election. No shady dinners with lobbyists, no duck pond expenses, no weird scandals emerging or any behavior that gets people canceled these days. You get the picture. It's always on and it's always fast. AI doesn't need sleep or coffee or vacations in the Maldives. It can work 24/7, digest massive volumes of data faster than any human analyst, and react to events with precision. AI wouldn't just be a single prime minister here. We're talking a whole cabinet of experts who don't need sleep or food, who just need a giant supercomputer, lots of GPU, and they also know everything there is to know in human knowledge, by the way. Talk about being guided by expertise and the experience of basically everyone in existence ever. It has emotionless objectivity. This one is my favorite. Imagine policy without ego. No revenge policies, no because the last party did it, we'll undo it. No popularity contests, no market manipulations, just clear objectives set at the start, and then clean, cold, data-driven decision-making, grounded in evidence, simulation, and outcomes. The air would probably smell cleaner, at least in my imagination it does. It would also have global-scale problem-solving. Climate change, global inequality, pandemics, these are problems so vast and interconnected that human politics often just stalls. An AI government could, in theory, simulate global systems and propose solutions optimized across borders. So, utopia? Well, hold on. Let's make the case against an AI government. I've always said that if I can't argue something from both sides or all sides, I don't understand it well enough. So let's also explore the case against an AI government. Because with great power comes also a great potential for dystopia. First of all, who programs this AI? Behind every AI is a programmer, or more accurately, a massive team of engineers, data scientists, ethicists, and let's be honest, corporate stakeholders with vested interests. AI doesn't exist in a vacuum. It reflects the priorities, assumptions, and blind spots of the people and systems that built it. If the model is trained on biased data or poorly defined objectives, the outputs will reflect that bias, even if they seem neutral. And that's the dangerous part. A biased human is obvious. A biased algorithm may look cold, crisp, and objective, while quietly reinforcing inequality. Garbage in, garbage out, just with a much fancier user interface and a veneer of credibility. Then, separately, it doesn't feel, it doesn't have empathy. Real governance isn't just about cost efficiency or logical consistency. It's about values, lived experience, and human connection. Should we deport somebody because an algorithm calculated a 74.2% likelihood of failed asylum claim? Should we slash funding for elderly care in the north just because it's suboptimal for the national budget? Should we not provide welfare for disabled people just because the AI decided they can't contribute to the economy? Of course not. The most critical decisions often involve compassion, not calculus. And AI won't pause for a moment of silence. It won't feel moral outrage at injustice. It won't see a parent's grief or hear the trembling voice of a scared child. Sometimes the humane choice is irrational, and AI doesn't do irrational. Next, and most likely the most dangerous one of all, is the lack of accountability. If a human leader fails us, we can protest, vote them out, hold inquiries. There's a name, a face, a sense of public responsibility. But if a policy is made by a machine, whom do we blame? The developers? The institution that deployed it? The algorithm itself? Ourselves? Even if we could assign blame, how do you protect an opaque model running on a cloud server in another country? You can't just chant down with the neural nets on the steps of parliament and expect change. And finally, let's address the black box problem. This is a pretty standard problem in AI and machine learning. Many AI systems, especially deep learning models, are inscrutable even to their creators. They can make stunningly accurate predictions, but we often don't fully understand how they got there. So what happens when we hand over decisions about schools, hospitals, or justice to a model that we can't fully interpret? Why did the AI shut down 50 schools in the Midlands? We're not really sure. It's optimized the national education performance curve. Like, that answer won't just sit well with communities watching their local institutions disappear. It's just not going to work. Now, before we dive into some juicy real-world examples, if you're into topics like this, AI, data ethics, and the messy ways they intersect with real life, go ahead and hit that subscribe button or consider supporting the channel in other ways listed in the description. Even a coffee a month helps this operation stay afloat. I bring you deep dives like this every week with insights grounded in both data science and real-world policy experience. Now, we discussed the case for and against, and it may seem to us that this is some far-fetched, far into the future scenario, but there actually are significant examples that are happening in the world. This isn't all just sci-fi. In China, for example, we already see AI deeply integrated into governance. Social credit scoring systems use AI to rate citizen behavior. Surveillance systems recognize faces, monitor public behavior, and automatically fine you for jaywalking. It's efficiency, sure, but also a little controlling. Estonia, on the other hand, is often hailed as a digital utopia. While not governed by AI, Estonia uses AI to automate a large chunk of bureaucratic tasks. Tax filing, healthcare access, business registration, freeing up human energy for more complex problems. A government augmented by AI, not replaced. I personally love this. Let's automate every boring task in existence. Can we actually automate meal prep and workouts too? In the UK, there was an infamous scandal in 2020 involving an algorithm used to determine A-level results during the pandemic. That's like high school results pre-university. The AI downgraded thousands of students based on school rankings and statistical models, which was massively followed by a huge backlash. Why? Because it was impersonal. It ignored individual merit. People felt dehumanized. That is the big risk. Governance isn't just about running simulations. It's about people, feelings, and most of all, the queen of everything, context. So, could we ever truly trust AI in power? Here's the crux. As the wise Varys from Game of Thrones once said, power resides where people believe it resides, and trust is possibly the most significant form of power. AI's ability to govern is irrelevant if people don't trust it. So the million-dollar question becomes, would you trust an AI government? Your answer probably depends on your view of current leadership. If you're already disillusioned with politicians, all the scandals, the inefficiencies, the partisanship, the insider trading, an AI might seem like a refreshing alternative. But if you value empathy, accountability, and the human touch in decision-making, the idea of an AI government probably feels like a Black Mirror episode waiting to happen. So does this video, actually. There's also the risk of false neutrality. Just because AI sounds objective, it doesn't mean it is. All data is historical, and history is messy, biased, unequal. An AI trained on decades of historical data might just end up reinforcing old injustices, but with cleaner graphs. So maybe the real question isn't would you trust an AI government, but rather, could you trust the people behind the AI? Because no matter how smart the system is, it's built by someone. Its objectives are defined by someone. The data is collected through our current existence. And if our current existence has flaws, and we know that it does, this is not even up for debate, then the AI doesn't really stand a chance. It'll learn things that are going great and things that are systemic failures, and sometimes may struggle to see the difference between the two. Still, as with many things in life, in the end, maybe the best future isn't full AI rule, Skynet style, but a partnership. Imagine a world where governments are still run by people, but supported by truly transparent, ethical AI tools that help them make better, faster, fairer decisions. Think Iron Man with Jarvis, not Ultron running the UN. My vote, personally, will always be pro-AI. But what do you think? Would you vote for an AI? Would you feel safer or more vulnerable? Let me know in the comments below. I love hearing your thoughts, and let's be real, some of you have better ideas than half of Parliament already. Thanks for watching, and if this gave you something to think about, give it a like, subscribe if you haven't yet, consider supporting the channel, and I'll see you in the next one, where we might just tackle whether AI can write better laws than lawyers. Spoiler, probably, but we'll get into that. Until next time, stay curious, stay human, and consider AI augmentation. Bye!